organic results are really the entire anchor of everything that you need to do. Content is where everything begins. And getting links to content is where everything begins. But I want to bring up on stage and introduce to you one of our, actually, they are our #1 client in terms of what they do in DSS and what they do with their own site. And so Ken and Yvette, come on up, please. I'll give you a quick background and then I'll let him talk to you about it. But Ken came, well, I'll let him say it. But really the thing is that when you guys are like, how does it really work? How long does it take? What needs to happen? These guys have done it in an amazing amount of time. When you all log, those of you that are clients and that use DSS, when you log in and you look at where the ranking is, how many article libraries, or how many library posts you've done and blog posts, you know how you're like 78 out of 200. Well, these guys are #1 in every category. They're the #1 person. So listen to them on how they get it done. So I'm going to, Ken, if you would go ahead and tell the story.
Okay. Let me get you. Thank you. Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. My name is Ken Levan. This is Yvette Valencia. And last night we had the opportunity to speak in front of everyone. And at the conclusion of our speech yesterday, I think we focused on my legal website, which is Disability Law Claims, and I explained that we'd gotten our visitors up to about 13,500 for the last month. So I just wanted to go through how I got to that point for disability law claims, and then we could field some questions on, what you're experiencing out there and some, issues that you're having. My success on the internet has not been, it hasn't been throughout my entire legal career. I started a website 6 years ago, Disability Law Claims, and launched it for the first time. And I was excited about it, just like everyone is in this room. For 4 years, I had a horrible experience. I invested all this money. I got limited results, probably signed up maybe 10 Social Security clients. And as everyone knows, Social Security disability doesn't pay that much per case. So for all the money that I invested for 4 years, I signed up 10 cases for Social Security. So it was not a good experience. My next phase actually was a very lucky trip that I took when I went to Washington, D.C. I was at a hotel in Arlington, Virginia at a Veterans Disability Conference, and I was at lunch. And I sat next to a nice lady from Tampa, and she starts picking my brain because she had never done a veterans disability case, but she was interested in veterans disability law. So she starts asking me questions, how do you market for your veterans cases and disability cases? And I explained, I do a lot of television advertising. I've never been successful on the internet. So she starts, drilling me a little bit more, kind of cross-examining me, how attorneys can be. So I explained to her how the legal marketing happened for the veterans cases and how I was successful. And then I started to ask her some questions. How do you market for your website? How do you market your business? How do you get your workers' comp cases? And she said, well, I've never been successful on television, but I've had great success on the internet. So I said, really? What do you do? So she said, well, I hired a company up in Virginia, and they did this great website for me, and every day I post 5 or 6 articles on my site and blogs, and I'm really into it. And I get 20, 30, 40 workers' comp cases every single month that I sign up. So my wheels are really clicking. We finish up lunch. I immediately go upstairs in my room and I start, Googling her site. And sure enough, she pops up in the top search engine results for, Tampa attorney that does workers' comp. Pretty much for anything that I search. So I scroll down to the bottom and I see that it's Foster Web Marketing. So this is on a weekday. I immediately called Foster Web Marketing and left a message for someone in sales to call me back. And Ken Pierce eventually called me back, probably within 2 minutes. He's pretty diligent at it. So I was very excited. He went through the pricing with me, emailed me the stuff, and in the same hour I called Yvette. She was on maternity leave, and we'd worked together 10 years ago on different projects, and I said, hey, I've got this great project for you. I'd like to team up with you and really have you manage the development of my website. So she was very excited, and immediately, within 2 weeks, she was in my office. We started the project rolling, and we went through our discovery phase, and we started to learn about the DSS systems.
And for those of you that don't know, DSS is Foster Web Marketing's content management system, but some other ones out there are like WordPress, for example, would be another content management system. So whoever your web designer is or web marketer is, you might be using a different one. But the first thing we quickly realized about DSS is that it's easy to use and it's robust. And the best part about it is that it allows you, the website owner, to be in complete control of your website. So all of the content that you post is automatically pushed out to the web, and Tom can get into the details of that. I'm not that technical when it comes to that. But so we learned the DSS system, and then the next step was to learn how to write for the web user, because we also learned that the web user is a different animal. They're not like someone that you would think would read, you know, if you're reading a newspaper article or a magazine, they don't have that type of time, and they don't want to take that amount of time to read something. So we learned that it had to be brief and concise, but still give them all of the information that they were looking for. And then the next step was really technical. We had to focus on, how do we get found for this content that we're writing? So we worked closely with Tom, and we learned about search engine optimization and how keywords worked to get you found, and how to blend those keywords into the content and start to form these long tail keywords that eventually would help you rise in the result pages. And our goal was always to be on page 1, as it is for most of you in the room. So the goal was to write content that would get us in number 1, 2, or 3 position, or several positions within page 1.
And then once we learned the system, we started to identify goals that we needed to set. So we set targets, and our target was very extreme. The goal was for a vet to get up 60 pages of original content every week. So within 6 months, we would have about 1,000 pages of content on our site. And every single milestone that we set for a vet, she hit without a problem. And we currently have about 2,000 pages on our own website. What does that mean for an attorney? What does that mean for me as a business person? As a business person, I can tell you every single month, as a result of the visits that we have, since the 6-month mark, when we got up to 8,000 visits, what that meant to me was every single month, I would get 100 requests for my book or requests for information explaining their disability. That was every single month. I would also get 100 calls from the website saying, hey, I'm interested in your services. And then the end result was I would sign up at least 25% of those cases every single month. So currently I'm at the 13,000 plus mark, and I'm receiving approximately 150 book requests every month, and I'm receiving 150 calls every month, signing up about 25% of those still. So that's the basic progression of my first site that was a major failure and a lot of work and didn't get the results that I needed. Then the second phase was understanding what was necessary to actually drive traffic to your website.